All right, we are live. MinerTalk is here. We are presented by Jack in the Box. Big studio today, big type of show feel, and that is exactly how we should make it after what a game, what a finish, overtime thriller. Miners get it done against New Mexico State, 91-88. Wow, what a game. We'll take phone calls right now, 915-505-6009, 600 ESPN El Paso, Twitter and X, 600 ESPNElPaso.com, along with Zay Galindo, Sal Montes. We've got Chris from Inspo Lens. Chris Collins is back in the house. We are live on Inspo Lens. The video stream is on. King Eric, our spring intern's in the house as well. Everything is looking up here for us in the studio today. Most people this year in attendance for the Miners, 7,800 plus in attendance to watch this one. It was a 10-point game with 6 minutes to go in this game, and the Miners rallied back to close out the game, and they ended up winning. They eked this one out. And you could make the argument, Sal, if they had made that bunny by Jamal West Jr. against Sam Houston on Wednesday, that the Miners sweep this week, and they're actually in a much better position. I mean, they're in an okay spot right now, right? Winning today was huge in terms of Conference USA standings. They're 5-8, 9-15 overall, which is hilarious in itself. Middle Tennessee is right ahead of them, but behind them right now, FIU, which is 10th, New Mexico State at 11th, and then Delaware firmly entrenched in that 12th overall position. So that's where we start today. Miners get a big victory, 91-88. Did you think they could do this, Sal? Did you believe?
I did not. I got to be honest, I did not. Just considering, recent history against New Mexico State as well in the last 5 years or so. Even a little bit beyond that, the Aggies have been a lot more successful than the Miners, especially in the in the Battle of I-10. So I got to be honest, man, I did not. However, I can say throughout this last 5-game stretch, maybe 6, recent memory, even in losses, they've been playing better. So that has to say for something, right?
I mean, how about this? New Mexico State led the game for 35 minutes almost. They almost led for 35 minutes in this game, and the Miners were able to come from behind and win. I mean, Zay, the easy one to credit is Kasim Watson for hitting the big jumper. I mean, that triple, we've seen it so many times. We saw it from Elijah Jones to push them in that double overtime win in that game against St. Thomas, or whatever, the Division III team that was earlier this year. We've seen attempts from the likes of Trey Horton, Caleb Blackwell at the buzzer, and then again, it's Kasim Watson who comes up big for UTEP. Kasim the Dream, and I mean, look, we can credit Jamal West Jr. for those 20 free throw attempts. He just got to the line every single time he wanted to in this one. 20 points. He finished the game with 8 total rebounds here in this matchup. Flirted with that double-double. Elijah Jones with 17 and 12. All of them contributed. It was the starting 5 who really contributed to win here for the Miners in the Battle of I-10.
Yeah, and then, that's 35 minutes that New Mexico State leads. That stat, that's insane, right? You really look at that from how bad this UTEP team has been this whole year, especially playing behind, playing against a physical team like New Mexico State. I was out. I wouldn't say I was out. I wasn't, walking out of the Don Haskins Center, but people around me were. As a photographer at UTEP, you have to sit in the stands now. They don't have specified places. So, I nuzzled my way in, found a nice seat, taking pictures. There was a point in this game, everybody around me left. It was that serious. Man. Everybody was gone. Everybody was out. And UTEP kind of just, it wasn't a big, huge run. I think they were just chipping away. They stayed in the game, and I think that gives me hope for the future. If I'm a UTEP, Joe Golding, I can believe in this team. You can talk me into, if you make the conference tournament, you play like that, you stick around, I guess anything could happen, right?
I mean, the Aggies led at one point by 14. With 6 to go in the second half, they led by double digits. And New Mexico State, it felt like every time, Sal, that the Miners would string along a nice bucket, which it was tough. It was tough for them to get buckets under their belt. And every time that they got the buckets behind them, it was like, wow, they couldn't string along consistent defensive possessions until the final 5 minutes. They locked up.
Yep.
I mean, they like stopped New Mexico State from scoring any type of field goals, any type of shots, anything that the Aggies got towards to close this game out. I mean, it was really just from the free throw line. So for UTEP, credit to them, because I think defensively they're pretty bad all game. Like they just like they had to chip away, kind of like what Zay was saying. They had to really force themselves to just chip away at it. Other than that, I feel like the Miners stole this one, and they needed to steal one of these, because I was thinking to myself, are they going to go an entire season where all these games hang in the balance in the final 5 minutes and they can't close any of them out? You saw it against Sam Houston, and then tonight it went in favor for the Miners.
And you know what, Adrian, going to the line 38 times really helps. So we can flip it around and see UTEP on the other side, right? Like, oh, the home team gets 38 free throws. You know what I mean? The home team's getting more calls in that sense. So I understand that. But the point is, even when the refs weren't blowing the whistle, New Mexico State was not getting passes off in time, shots, going off the rim and whatnot. So they couldn't capitalize when they got the ball. Especially in crunch time. UTEP able to string consecutive stops is huge, and we've seen them give up consecutive buckets. And there was even a point, too, New Mexico State got back up for, and it was like, here we go again, right? But no, they itched away, and that's what you got to do. That's how a lot of games are going to be in Conference USA. I mean, Liberty just squeezing past Missouri State today by 3 as well. Teams having to fight for their seeding now. I'm not saying it's a great league, but competition-wise, in terms of, margin of victory or loss, it's going to be pretty close for a lot of teams, man.
It is going to be close. I think that it tells you also, I mean, it's easy to say the cliche, there's a lot of parity in the league. It's just Liberty versus everybody. Teams are beatable, and if you're UTEP, you want to play better in the month of February to lead you into March. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of what we preach on this show every single year. And just get to March, right? Like, get to the Conference USA tournament. Don't put yourself in jeopardy of missing out on the CUSA tournament. And the Miners took a step in the right direction here tonight with a big win, 91-88. Let's talk about it. 915-505-6009. We'd love to hear your thoughts. 600 ESPN El Paso, Twitter next. The crowd truly showed up tonight, though. I mean, I just got to give a huge shout out, huge credit to everybody who showed up. I mean, the $8 tickets to the fans out in Socorro, the $9.15 tickets, the UTEP women's basketball game being the doubleheader where buy one, get one free. I mean, they threw the absolute kitchen sink as far as promos go. And credit UTEP. I mean, they did a good job. They reaped the benefits of having all those different marketing campaigns and had a good turnout for the Battle of I-10. Like we mentioned, season high in attendance, 7,800 fans in attendance for two teams who are near the bottom of Conference USA. I thought New Mexico State traveled well. I thought their fans really got into it. I like the brawl, benches clearing brawl in this game. When you've got the Battle of I-10 between UTEP and New Mexico State, and you got chippiness shoving on both sides. You got Kasim Watson shoving one guy. You've got Elijah Jones stepping in, barking. Miners are the ones who end up taking those technical free throws when it's all said and done. I mean, the chippiness, the rivalry, it was there. It was exciting. Let's talk about it here on the program. 915-505-6009. We're presented by Jack in the Box. I want to give a huge shout out to Jack in the Box. They've got multiple locations in town, open 365, 24/7. You can go there late night after MinerTalk. You can go there early in the morning. Doesn't matter what time of day you go. They've got the all-day breakfast menu out at Jack in the Box. Our huge sponsors, huge supporters here on MinerTalk. Also want to give a shout-out to our friends at Thomas Adams Apparel. We dropped the new MinerTalk hats. They're the blue ones, the beautiful ones that we've got here with us. And these Thomas Adams Apparel hats are awesome. They are going to be on sale soon at thomasadamsapparel.com, and proceeds from these will go back to benefit UTEP NIL. So they're a little... I know when people look at the price initially, they might be like, wow, that's, it's a lot for some hats. They're high quality. They're amazing hats. We love wearing them. And proceeds from it will go to benefit UTEP. So we want to give back here on the program, which is a cool little announcement that we're making here on the program. We're live on Inspo Lens. We're live on YouTube, live on Twitter and X. Of course, live here on 600 ESPN El Paso. Our free app is where you can chime in with us. We've got a ton of comments coming in. We're getting calls on our side. If you want to get your call in and line them up, 915-505-6009. Couple lines available right now. But we got a brawl there, Zay. I mean, up close and personal. I loved it.
Oh, man, I loved it too. And, when you watch these games on national television, you'll watch a college basketball game and, the players will start fighting. The announcers are so quick. They're like, oh, you hate to see this. You hate to see this. But I know deep down, everybody's like, yeah, like everybody's hyped. That fires everybody up. And obviously, it fired UTEP up, right? Because after that, it was kind of a downhill slope for the Aggies and an up, the trend was going up for the Miners, and it was it was something that was needed. That was the most fight that I had seen from that team up until then, and after that, the rest is history.
Sal, are you in the firm believing that the fight, the little brawl that we saw for the Miners, helped spark a little energy back into the UTEP squad here to close this one out in overtime?
I think so. You got to have that type of fire, and also too, like when we go through the archives of UTEP basketball and rivalry games, this is like not even scratching the surface of like how aggressive a team should or can be in that heat of the moment. So I like it. You got to stand up for yourself, but at the end of the day, that's all it was. It was just that, and then right back to basketball. So what I love too, aside from that, is closing the game out in the in regulation and also in overtime too. Like you didn't see that type of stuff carry over negatively in terms of closing that game out. So we just got to see straight up basketball from two rivals. That's literally it.
Well, I was a little worried because I was thinking, wait a second, are Conference USA refs going to be Conference USA refs? And are we going to see some chicanery late game in this one when it's all said? No shot clock violation on Caleb Blackwell. He ends up on his side. He ends up turning the ball. Actually, I guess he he misses his shot. UTEP gets an offensive rebound. They get it fouled, and then they go up by 2 possessions late in the game in overtime. I was like, wow. I mean, Zay, I think the biggest thing you got to tell all the Aggie fans who are complaining about the refs is this is CUSA. I mean, they're CUSA refs. They're back at it. No surprise to us. This is very on brand for CUSA refs. So, to all the Aggie fans who are complaining about the refs and who are upset about that I've already seen it on social media. I get it. Look, I'm UTEP's in this conference. New Mexico State attempted 23 free throws. Miners attempted 38. They were going to the basket, though. I'm talking about UTEP. They were trying to attack the basket and trying to hit the rim. To all the Aggie fans out there who are complaining about things like fouls, I mean, chill out.
Yeah, I mean, This is what you signed up for, man. This is that's Conference USA refs. You're gonna have to get used to it. We got used to it. We don't have the ref conversations nearly as much as we used to because you learn to live with it. You learn to live with it. But the funny part about it is on the big screen, like they were showing the replay in slow motion, and it was just so funny. Like everybody around me was like, cut it off. Like, it was so obvious. It was a shot clock violation. And I think the thing that Jason Hooten was saying is you have to review it. But since they didn't call it off and they let the live ball continue playing,
you can't review that. You can't review that. That's funny.
That's Conference USA refs.
And what are you going to do? Review it on the next possession after the free throws? Like, I thought that was pretty hilarious. But Sal, any advice to New Mexico State fans who are upset about refs?
I mean, hey, it's kind of like a batch of bad apples. There might be a couple of good ones. You just got to eat all of the apples, though. That's the thing. And today, UTEP had some good apples. That's the only way I could say it. It might be your night some night, but more than likely, it's not going to be. So good luck.
There you go. I love it. Let's go back to Twitter next. 600 ESPN El Paso, Twitter next. Then we're going to Jason. We got Pinky hanging with us as well. Our telephone number, 915-505-6009. This is from Sun City Caper. This game should have been the team that loses their coach gets fired. Wow. There you go. Right there. This is from Carlos Martinez. Man, I miss the Haskins years. Too much emphasis on the wrong things. No wonder we hit rock bottom. Should be UTEP in the front with the jerseys that they wore today and no name on the back. Only exception should be a change to Texas Western as the throwbacks once a season. Players were good. We knew their identity without their names on the back of their jersey. I mean, hey, the jerseys was was definitely a polarizing thing. You can weigh in. You can give us your thoughts on the Los Mineros jersey. I will probably ask all of our guests to weigh in on those. I have my thoughts. And actually, I was told today who did these, which I was like, wait a second. How did they allow this guy to make the jerseys? I'm not going to spoil it, but I thought it was pretty funny, Zay. I'll tell you off air because you're going to get a good kick out of it. Let's go to Jason Craig, who's joining us first on the phone lines, 915-505-6009. UTEP's DJ, Jason Craig, who is there. Jason, you were in attendance, biggest home crowd for the Miners tonight, and they get it done against the Aggies. What's up?
Man, what a game. What a game, man. I was sitting there, doing my thing, what I normally do, and I was, nervous, I'm like, oh, man, I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it out. But they ended up, that last 6 minutes, man, I'm speechless. Good W. I think they really did need it for more reasons than, the Conference USA. They needed this win because they're leaving CUSA, and you gotta on the way out, you gotta beat the Aggies, bro. You gotta beat the Aggies, and they did their job. So, big ups to the Miners, man. They did a good job today.
To your point about the early advantage that we saw from the likes of, New Mexico State, I was thinking, are we getting into territory of 2025? Could New Mexico State come in here and blow out UTEP? And remember, I think I defined blowouts as 15-plus wins, point wins. You win by 15 or more. In my eyes, that's considered a blowout. And I was thinking, this is scary. I mean, the Miners are falling down, and could they go? I mean, in the first half, it was a 15-point game, essentially, or 14-point lead by the Aggies. And UTEP hadn't had the lead until the 3 or 2 minute mark of the second half. I mean, the Aggies led, like I mentioned, for almost 35 minutes of this game. For UTEP to rally back and steal it, that's a huge testament. Jason, you tell me, what'd you think of the crowd? Good crowd here tonight with both fans in attendance.
Oh, yeah. Crowd was electric. They had a lot of energy, so that helps me get into where we need to go. I wanted it to feel like you're at an NBA game, but, the college players they're playing to get somewhere, so we want to give them that feeling. And I think we hit that mark. And, when we have crowds like this, especially with the Battle of the I-10, we usually fall flat when we have a big crowd like this. But, no, they pulled through, and they got the job done, man. I'm really, really happy with the way the team's been playing lately since I've been back, bro. I've been listening all season, and they have been really hitting the mark.
Let me ask you this. What happened with you and the women's basketball team? I heard you got into it with somebody. With the Aggies.
I did. Oh, I don't know.
Okay, then I was mistold. I was told something wrong. I thought you may have I thought I heard something about you getting into it with somebody from the in the women's basketball side of things. But I must be mistaken.
You know how it is over there by the band section and the student section. We are in their ear. We're yelling at them all the time. So, if somebody took offense, hey, I'm sorry, but you lost.
Oh, hey, man. Good stuff. I love it. Great job, Jason. It's great to hear from you, my man. You take care. Good to hear from you. Our telephone number now in 550-56009 as we continue. Next up, we've got our guy, Sidelines, Kevin Bazar, who's joining us next. Then we're going to Pinky. Then we'll continue now in 550-56009. Before we get to Kevin, let's get to a couple other posts on X. Gabriel Martinez, better than anything that's blue or gray. Finally, something decent. Go home. Laggies is what he says. I like the laggies. That's good. Sad UTEP fan. Got to give credit where credit is due. Great job for fighting back, Miners. However, KJ Thomas is booty cheeks under pressure. Hopefully that freshman pans out next year, but dear God, spend some money and find a point guard, please. Look, this is what I'll say. This is what I'll say to that. The KJ Thomas thing. I think he's outperforming his age of what he is. He's not David Terrell Jr. He's not that kind of sophomore. Is he a guy who's a sophomore who could be serviceable at the point guard position while UTEP's point guard is out for the rest of the year and Tyrese Watson? My answer to that is yes. Is he going to struggle in critical moments? Is he going to have some kind of errors at times? Sure. We saw it against, what was it? Was it Missouri State? I think that one kind of comes to mind. Late game situation, late game turnover. In this one, the fans are going to get upset about the 5 attempts from beyond the arc, but he made 2 of them. I mean, at the end of the day, like if you're UTEP, you're good with that. You're good with 40% from the perimeter from KJ Thomas. I don't love his 3-point shot, but he hits them. And today, the second 3-pointer that he made was pretty critical, Zay. That's what I'll say about KJ Thomas.
Yeah, it sure was. And, look, I've been as hard on KJ Thomas as, the rest of them. I have been, because, like you said, he's been thrusted into a role that he probably wasn't expecting, nor was he ready for. But today, I can't say that he was, quote-unquote booty cheeks. He went out there, first defensively. I know Jamel Jones got his way a couple of times. That's one of the best players in Conference USA. He's so much bigger than KJ. He's stronger than KJ. He's more experienced than KJ. But KJ Thomas made him work. He made him work for every single bucket he got. And there was a moment there, a little string of events that I was like, wow, he's doing actually a really, really good job of defending Jones. And the 3-pointers, man, I walked into the Don Haskins Center a little late, and KJ Thomas missed 2 straight threes, and I was already ready. I was going to turn around and walk out. I tweeted it. I was going to turn around and walk out. I was like, why is this guy shooting threes? But like you said, he hit a couple of them, and the last one he made, it was critical. So got to give credit where credit's due. KJ Thomas, he's outperformed everything that I've expected out of him, and he's gotten a lot better.
I'll say, to the haters of KJ Thomas, I hear you. I hear where there's a ceiling. But can KJ Thomas be a solid 6th man on a winning team in the Mountain West? The answer, in my eyes, it's yes. Is he a day one starter in the point guard? No, he's not. In a winning team in the Mountain West, maybe not. Maybe he wouldn't be. But right now, in the role that UTEP needs, I'm good with it. And I think that as a collective, I think we're pretty hard on KJ Thomas. As a collective, UTEP basketball fans understand the best types of guard play and the highest levels of guard play. Think about the greats who played for UTEP basketball. I respect that, and I get that. At the same time, I'm going to give KJ Thomas a bit of a pass, although understanding he does make those he does make those errors. In my eyes, he's not booty cheeks at all. So there you go. Let's go to Kevin. He's joining us next. Sidelines UTEP. That's where you can follow him on everything, on all social media platforms. Kevin, welcome back to MinerTalk for the first time in a while, my friend. What's going on?
I know, man. I need to turn in my minor card because I didn't go to the Battle of I-10 tonight, and I haven't called in MinerTalk in God knows how long. Well,
I feel like you're checked out. I feel like I got to call you out and say, hey, you're checked out as a fan, media member, everything, all the above. So this is you coming back. UTEP is reeling sidelines UTEP back in the mix.
I know. It's tough. It's tough with the media part with my job right now, but I promise, guys, I'll be back in the Don here pretty soon. I promise, I will. But yeah, no, I mean, it's hard to call your guys' show sometimes and just talk about losses. There's only so much you can talk about a team that just consistently loses. And I know UTEP's kind of found their strides here and there towards the ending of the year in some games, but man, it just hasn't looked pretty. But today, man, it was pretty. I mean, not pretty of a game, but it was pretty to see that win, man. The crowd was rocking, man. Watching the game from home, and I'm over here doing laundry in my 1-bedroom apartment, just like, wow, what the hell am I doing with my life? I need to be at the Don Haskins Center right now, and I'm 30 years old. I'm like, no way, this is my life right now. And anyways, just watching it, hearing the crowd, man, when Caleb Blackwell went up for that dunk, I think he stole that pass and just went up for that dunk to take the lead. Oh, man, it reminded me of the Don Haskins Center from the early 2000s, man, and I want the youngins to experience that, man. I want the youngins to experience what I experienced at the Don back in the day, and I don't think it was there yet, but, man, it was damn near close. It was a good win for UTEP today.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, UTEP needed this one badly. They wanted to avoid having to go into a tiebreaker scenario or have to battle it out against Florida International or those types of guys to, hang in the game. That's what you're going to have to look at right there. So I'm with you, Kevin. Your thoughts on the uniforms before we let you go, and I appreciate your phone call, man. You give us your thoughts on the Los Mineros uniforms.
I mean, I think they're pretty cool. There's something new. I mean, there's definitely not a whole lot of orange, and I think that's what a lot of the fans complained about last year was that the team didn't wear enough orange. But I mean, they're 1-0 in those uniforms, so I can't talk shit about them, man. I just can't. So keep wearing those uniforms for the rest of the years, boys. Come on.
Oh, man. Let's see how it goes. Good job, Kevin. I appreciate your phone call. Thanks for getting in. Man, that dump button could not come back sooner. Sal, good stuff there by our pal Kevin. Before we get to Pinky, all right, let's do it quickly. Around the room, we'll ask everybody, even our boy Eric over here, our spring intern. Pick or pass the Los Mineros uniform. We'll start with you, Sal.
No, I definitely pick. I really like them.
Pick emphatic. All right, Zay,
Yeah.
Go ahead. Crap on them. Go ahead.
I want to save my opinion
All right,
for later,
for last.
but you know my answer. Like, you guys know my answer already. So, I just want to go in depth and explain later, because I care about this stuff. I know everybody else doesn't, so yeah.
Okay. We'll save your thoughts for later. Go ahead, Eric.
I'm also a pick, too. I'm in with these and out with the grays.
Okay. All right, yeah.
Yes.
If you're telling me this or the grays, I mean, come on. There's no question, right? For me, there's no question. Zay, can we at least agree to that or no? We're not agreeing to that.
If I speak,
you'll have to go on your rant.
All
right. We'll
have
save
no
your
dump
soapbox.
button.
We'll save your soapbox for it. We'll save your monologue for it. Yeah, then we're going to have to dump some of the words that you're going to... Or we can't. We don't have a dump button. Sorry about that. Hilarious. Let's go to Pinky, who's joining us next on the program. My thoughts are, I'll pick for now, but I'm curious to hear what Zay thinks, and I could be swayed the other way. Pinky is next up with us, 915-505-6009. Pinky, it's the Battle of I-10. UTEP defeats New Mexico State 91-88, overtime thriller, and you got a chance to watch this one. We're presented by Jack in the Box, by the way, also brought to you in part by Thomas Adams Apparel. Pinky, welcome aboard. What's going on, my man?
Hey, first of all, let me tell you that I'm glad you and Steve and your crew made it back safely.
Thank you, my man. Appreciate it.
Bay Area. I know that's a rough place to go visit, and especially when you're going on business like that. Now, I've seen this kind of games between these two teams for 60 years, I'd say. So I am not surprised of the type of game and the way it ended and everything, because I've seen it very many times before. So my point to everybody is, Coach Joe did a good job today. He didn't do too many subs like he usually does, because right off the bat he'll put in 2 or 3 guys with about 2 minutes, 3 minutes into the game. This time he let the guys play, and I think he only played 8 or 9 guys that I can think of. And
good point. There were only 8 guys.
Yeah, because and that was we were talking about that, and I talked to one of the guys, and I said, he hasn't doing subs. He's letting them play today more than they usually do, which is good. And they started off so cold, so bad. So I mean, KJ hit the first jump shot, a 3-pointer, and you didn't hear nothing from him until late in the second half. So it is what it is, and I enjoyed it. Like I told everybody, man, it sounded like the old Don Haskins back in the 80s and 90s to me. So it was great. It was great to see something like that, and I'm great. A lot of people that went, like what's his name just said, all the younger crowd, and he's 30 years old, and I'm going, geez, you're young. But that's all I got. Thanks a lot for keeping up and letting us talk. And tell Zay that I like the white ones.
Okay, you're good with the uniforms. All right, good stuff, Pinky. I appreciate your phone call, 915-505-6009. A lot of messages coming in and posts coming in on Twitter next. Let's get to them all. Poncho, finally, their efforts paid off, and they were able to stay in the game and win it. P.S. Golding hasn't earned the right to wear Texas Western gear yet. This is from Melissa Romero, I think. Melissa Romero. She says, thanks for the update, but is the Don Haskins Wi-Fi this slow all the time? The answer to that, Melissa, is yes. Yes. I could not upload anything today. Big Cat, if you build it, they'll come. If UTEP was a winner, they'd be on a Boise State level. Let's break that down a little bit. I mean, I think that was a comment kind of in passing, but I mean, UTEP was a Boise State in like the early 2000s, in my opinion. Like, they were right on the same level as Boise State. There was really no difference. I mean, Boise State before the trick play against Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl, before they had all of that, it was UTEP and Boise State going at it left and right in football, going at it left and right in basketball, and it was a really big commitment by that athletic department to kind of change things around from Boise State at the time, and they started winning, and they had success, and they had swagger to them, and they had a lot of excitement to them. And yeah, I mean, it always makes you think, what if, Sal? That's why, I mean, we'll get to this segment later. I'm really excited to talk a little bit more Mountain West Plus, knowing the North Dakota State edition. I really want to get into that here on MinerTalk. I have a lot of thoughts on it. But that just tells me that's just another reason why UTEP has to look at this move to the Mountain West and think, okay, forget everything that happened over the last 20 years. Forget all of this. Forget the losing. Forget the unsuccessful seasons. Forget all of that. The coaches that never panned out. The run that didn't pan out in conference. Forget all of that. There's teams who went ahead of them out of the FCS to FBS transitions and who've already won conference titles, who've already competed at high levels in bowl games, all that kind of stuff. In NCAA tournament games, made a run in CUSA and won the tournament, right? Forget all of that. And turn the page to the Mountain West and realize, okay, this is a better conference. In basketball, it could be a multi-bid league. In football, you could have multiple teams investing real money in their programs, and you could have a team coming out of the Mountain West as maybe even a contender in the CFP, as crazy as that sounds, right? I mean, there was James Madison this past year who represented one Group of Five conference, and then there was, Tulane who represented another Group of Five conference. Why couldn't UTEP be the next Boise State after, in the decade of 2030, at the latter part of the 2020s, despite having really zero success over the last 20 years in the money-making sports? Why not UTEP? Really, why not?
Well, think about it, too. When people talk about, like, how come UTEP can't get to that next level, one of the main things is they just don't have the funds. They just don't have the money. They're about to come into some more money to play with some dogs in that conference. So there's that extra resource that you're looking for. But I think on another level, too, kind of going back to, like, Boise State and their modern-day relevance, and you and I know about, like, Jared Zabransky with the hook and ladder over Oklahoma. My point is that they got to a big stage and they did something that mattered. They won that game. So that recent memory is what propels, people to still be Boise State fans, or, some young Boise State fans looking at that like, that's only, 25 years ago or somewhere around there. Like, that's a modern history for those guys. So when you get to that stage, you got to make something happen. So it's like a two-step process, I think.
I think so, too. I mean, Zay, anything you want to weigh in there?
I mean, you put it perfectly, right? Boise State, they added the funds that you need to compete at this level, and they won. They won games. Boise State, I don't know if people know this, like, they started as a community college. They were a junior college when they started off. They built their way from junior college, JUCO, to NCAA Division II, NCAA Division I, 1AA, 1A, and they just kept going up. They kept getting better and better, and the move to the Mountain West provides an opportunity for a fresh start for UTEP, right? Like you said, put all the lack of success behind you, commit the funds needed to compete in this conference, and see where it can take you, I know the Scotty Walden sleeping giant thing is something, it's a little funny, it's goofy, but it's true, right? It could be a sleeping giant if you put the right, things that you need into it.
Okay, I think that's a good comment, though, on Twitter and X. A couple other posts that came in on the program. By the way, our telephone number, 915-505-6009. If you were waiting to get on the show but couldn't jump in, now's the time to do it, 915-505-6009. Tristan Pence, our pal, checking into the program. Congrats to Coach Joe Golding and the Miners. They really gutted this one out. This was a crucial win to stay in contention for a Conference USA tournament spot. Also, make no mistake about it, the crowd really made a difference tonight. Let's hope they win. This win gives UTEP some momentum. This is coming in from Manny David. Glad I was in the dawn for this one. Miners could have easily given up, but they kept battling, sent it to overtime, and got the win. Hashtag one game at a time. Hashtag go Miners. That's coming in on the program as well. This is coming in from our pal Trolley Dodger, who's back at it. Maybe had a couple drinks in him, maybe didn't. So we'll find out later on probably. Trolley Dodger said, I'm here so I can say this. Trey Horton on the floor makes us a worse basketball team. Hashtag MinerTalk. Wow. Trey Horton caught a lot of flack today on social media, by the way, guys. Not necessarily people who are fans of his tonight. This is from UTEP News. Only reason this game and the Miners have a chance to win is because Golding sat Trey Horton when it was all said and done. Oof, brutal. Cesar Cubillos. UTEP needed this one to put a bit of comfort in a hard season. Students showed up, and for one night, it felt like 1992 again. I think even the fans are tired after this one. Watson, Jones, and West looked great. I'll just say this. I mean, as far as Jamal West Jr., man, I wish he could play one more year. Like, he's like Bryson Williams light. That's how I would describe him. Because back to the basket, people are kind of he's got that turnaround look. He kind of flings his hands around, but he gets fouled. He draws contact. So even though sometimes it doesn't look as pretty, Sal, even though there's times where it doesn't look as good, I appreciate the fact that he just is relentless in attacking the rim and goes up. Like, he does not go up with the most pretty jumpers at times down low or bunnies at times down low, but he makes it work and makes it happen. And for this game right here to go to the charity stripe and attempt 20, I mean, somebody could say, all right, you got to be better than 12 for 20, and I think he would agree with that too. But to get to the line and have that many attempts, to play almost the entire game in this one right here, have 20 points in it when it's all said and done, 8 rebounds, and three assists, 3 turnovers, 4 blocks in this one for Jamal West Jr. I mean, he was going today. He really was.
Just look at the aggression he played with, right? Look at the 4 blocks. That's playing aggressive. Getting to the line 20 times. That's playing aggressive. And how about this? As aggressive as you're playing, you're able to be reliable because you're able to be on the floor. Only 3 fouls for West Jr. That's impressive, especially in a game where he was playing the way he did. So you want your best players out there on the floor, for a majority of the time. And UTEP was able to do that today. The lineups, it's easy to say this, right? They won the game, but when it comes down to it, the way that they were able to play was because of the run that everybody got. I look at New Mexico State, right? Every single player, I think they went 9 deep. Every single player, 10 minutes or more, right? And for UTEP, they don't go that deep, so that means that their lineup is going to be what it is from here until, who knows. So get used to it in that part.
UTEP Miners get 5 big booms. Boom, 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 boom.
I had to throw it in at some point, all right? I had to. I'm sorry, guys. 915-505-6009. That's our telephone number here on the program. Sorry, Zay, I had to. UTEP wins 91-88 against New Mexico State here tonight. To talk a little bit more about Kasim Watson, Zay, your thoughts on Kasim being the go-to guy for the last shot?
Kasim the Dream. I said I named him. That sounds funny. But, I mean, I nicknamed him, and I feel so proud of that nickname. Every time he hits a bucket, I got to celebrate. And he's on my fantasy team. Like, he's my first pick. He was my first-round pick. So I'm extremely biased towards Kasim the Dream. And I'm not sure it was drawn up for him. Caleb Blackwell loses the ball. First off, the fact that he even got it back, he had to dribble through a couple of defenders. There's like 3 seconds left. I'm expecting this is over, right? They're going to end it with a turnover. He finds Jamal West Jr. Jamal West Jr. swings it back up top to Kasim Watson, and he talked about the shot post-game. He said, they weren't falling for me throughout most of the game, but they said, keep shooting. And I like that they have that mentality. And I know it can go both ways because I don't want to hop on the Trey Horton hate, but You know, they probably tell him the same thing, right? And they're not going in for him. But Kasim Watson, man, they went in for him late, and that was huge. He also hit a big three in overtime. He's just been such a good player, right? If Jamal West Jr. is Bryson Williams light, who's Kasim Watson? Like, who is Kasim Watson light? Or is Kasim Watson not like a light? Is he not the demo? He's the full
light,
version,
right? He's KD right?
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, he is, right?
Everybody here is
Slim
like,
Reaper.
I love it. KD light.
Like take it 5 notches down, Sal. KD light, no?
I don't know, man.
Put a lot of disrespect on Kevin Durant, one of the greatest. I
know I troll a lot and stuff, but I really think we use the term GOAT when it comes to like college hoops players loosely, when it comes to comparing them to players like, and I'm going to put it this way. I think this is a Steve Yellen comparison where I forgot who they were playing the other day. I think it was Missouri State. And they're like, just like the great, somebody's name was Larry or his nickname was Larry. And that's why, just like Larry Bird, the NBA great. And it's like, dude, I have not heard of this player until this game. What are you talking about?
But hey, but like Kasim, at least he's got that killer shot. I love the 6'8" mentality, like the frame that he has, right? Like the size that he has. And for UTEP to get all their perimeter production from their big guys, Elijah Jones, Kasim Watson, even sometimes Jamal West Jr. will make a triple here and there. But I would say for the first time, maybe in the Joe Golding era, I actually really like their 3-point games. Like I do. I like the way that they shoot from the perimeter on this team. Maybe fans would suggest or argue that they attempt too many threes, but I'll throw out that KenPom stat again. I think it's one of the best stats that KenPom has thrown out there that can tell you a little bit of how UTEP can reverse things in the final month. With using by using advanced analytics. They are right now one of the worst teams in the country in average 2-point attempt distance, meaning that they're attempting a lot of these mid-range jumpers, these like far mid-range jumpers. And I think this was a really good style of play in like the mid-2000s. Stephon Jackson's hitting those shots. You got those left and right, and you're not worrying about it left and right. But nowadays here in 2026, take a step back. Hit that three. Like it's a 3-point game. It's a perimeter type of game. I'd rather UTEP die in the paint, live in the paint, go up and try to get those fouls on their side, and then on the flip side, on offense on the other shots, go out and try to make those 3-point attempts. Like, don't give me any of those long, 10-foot jumpers. I don't care about those. I don't want to see any more of those. I think I just want this team either to drive it down low in the paint, try to get fouled, or hit perimeter jumpers the way this team is built and just based on the talent on this team. You know
what's crazy, too, is unfortunately there's going to be a make that goes in that category. And it was just like, an inch shy of being a 3-pointer. So one, unfortunately, will get in there by design.
Yeah, and I feel like for them to be bottom 5 in that category in the nation, it's something they could switch right now. They could pivot this right now and say, okay, we're going to be better about this. We're going to just shoot these little bunnies, layups, dunks, try to get fouled, and then all our other shots will come up from the perimeter.
Yeah, they had one today. Caleb Blackwell, it's a go ahead. It would have been a 3. If he takes one step back and they go back, review it, they take that point away. It was a 2. So I agree completely. The mid-range game, it's beautiful. I love it. It's not sustainable. You don't win with it unless you have like a real killer like a Stephon Jackson, right? A real guy who can hit that type of shot, and UTEP just doesn't. So.
Yeah, I think also, it just isn't the style of play in 2026. I think, like you said, the sustainability behind it, it's just not there. I look at Liberty, like you're going to have to hit threes against a team like Liberty to win. So that's how you get it done. Texting into the program is Ivan, our pal, Ivan Tovar. He said, Watson saved us. West carried us. Horton needs to stay on the bench. Offense is so stagnant. That's a good point as well. The offense was like the half-court offense, wait till the shot clock comes down the wire and then put up a crazy shot isn't sustainable either. Just the same way those 2-point attempts aren't sustainable. Same thing, like those late shot clock possessions. I don't like that. Like the no ball movement. But the Miners kind of got themselves out of that late in the game. And I think 14 assists is not what I like from UTEP. 14 assists to 14 turnovers, no way. But the Miners got it done. And I think a lot of that was getting to the free throw line late in the game. It was the shut up and give the ball to Jamal West Jr. Don't be dumb. Stay out of his way. Let him cook down low. Let him get fouled and let him go to the free throw line. I think the Miners just chipping away, being patient with it, hanging around, and then trying to seal the game in the 5 minutes. Maybe that's their recipe for the entire season and how they win games later on. But there you go. Hey, let's do this. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Miner Talk, brought to you by Jack in the Box and Thomas Adams Apparel, along with some other great sponsors here on the program. We'll be back right after this on 600 ESPN El Paso. We're live on Inspo Lens. We're live here, 600 ESPN El Paso. If you want to call in, you want to weigh in, 915-505-6009. Overtime game, back and forth. It was the largest crowd this season for UTEP, 7,800 fans, 7,862 to be exact, by the way, here tonight. Miners get it done in overtime, rallied back. New Mexico State led for almost 35 minutes in this one, yet the Miners were able to squeeze out this game here when it was all said and done. A couple other things to talk about. Pinky mentioned the small rotation by the Miners. I mean, only 8 players, really. Kasim Watson, Jamal West Jr., Elijah Jones, KJ Thomas, Caleb Blackwell. Their starting 5 played the majority of the minutes. They threw in Trey Horton for 9, but didn't like his play, so he sat on the bench pretty much in the second half and beyond. Cassius Brooks was 16. I didn't get that. I didn't get it. I'm sorry. Like, everybody wants to check out on Trey. Like, for me, I'm just like, I'm not there with Cassius Brooks. Like, I'd rather give those minutes to L.A. Hayes, but again, Hayes had a ticky-tack foul. They took him out of the game. He only played 6 minutes off the bench. This is their team right here, Zay. This is their rotation. I think they're going to live and die by this. The 8-man group that we saw tonight. And I don't really see, like, Bai getting minutes, maybe in situations where they need some size, but I don't see them deviating from this lineup right here.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't even think Bai was suited out today. Like, I think he was in street clothes on the bench. And
I wonder what's going on.
Yeah, I'd have to recheck. Maybe I'm completely off. But I agree. I think this is what you're going to live and die with. And for them to be sustainable, I know they won today. I know they scored 91 points, but you're going to need one of those 3 guys to step it up and hit a few shots, like a few big-time shots, whether it's Trey, whether it's L.A., whether it's Cassius. I know all 3 of them they've had their ups and downs, but one of them is going to need to step up because, you can't rely on Jamal West like this every time. You're not going to get that foul whistle every time like that. And you just got to hope that one of them steps up down this stretch.
I think men play I would say boys play between November and January. Men play in February. In March, right? Like, that's when you kind of shorten the rotation. You realize, all right, we like the CJ Smith minutes that we got off the bench. We like the Bai production here in spurts. We liked the Bobby Montgomery minutes in certain spurts, but it's time to win and it's time to lock in. And even if you're using these guys extended minutes and playing them extensively, you do it at home, you do it in big games like tonight against the Aggies, you do it in ones that you want to try to seal out like they tried to do against Sam Houston. It's funny because honestly, if we didn't have Miner Talk on Wednesday, but if we had Miner Talk on Wednesday, I would have sounded really disappointed. I thought they should have won that game. It felt like Groundhog Day. It felt like Miners just did way too much of the same in that one, in the loss against Sam Houston. But you can make the argument too. They hung around in that game, even at times when that one became a double-digit lead in favor for the Bearcats, and UTEP ended up eking out a close game and had a chance to tie it when it was all said and done. I feel like some guy, Chris, had a good comment, like 90% of the time Jamal West Jr. makes that bucket down low in the post against the Bearcats, and he just missed it for whatever reason. Sam Houston Houston ekes out that win. But any takeaways from that one, Sal? Because I feel like Miners were right there for trying to sweep the weekend. I mean, just as easily we could have talked about UTEP being swept this week, but still, I feel like 2 wins could have been attainable this past week.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that game was within reach, and you were up against one of the top. I don't want to say top tier, but let's say the top quarter or top third of Conference USA, so to speak. You had a chance to win against one of the better teams in Conference USA this year. And also, on a quick note, I think it's a shame that was just the one offer this year. I think it should have either been Missouri State or Delaware. Like, you do your one game against those 2 teams, and you sacrifice that other one to give a double game Miners and Bearcats. So kind of disappointed in that, man. We talk about like rivalries and stuff, and that's like, it's not a big rivalry, but it's the most fun on Twitter, in my opinion, between UTEP and Sam Houston. So that's a shame. It's only one game for regular season. So yeah.
Has anybody else noticed that they've suddenly quieted down a little bit? I think it's because they realize all their content is not going to be as viewed now that they're away from CUSA. Anybody else who notices that one as well?
There was like, I wouldn't say like a rumor, but like some people thought they were all owned by one guy. Like, it was one guy with like 4 Sam
social
Houston
media accounts.
And like I would see it. Like, I would tweet something and like that. Like, all 3 of them would just respond, and I'm like,
a little fishy. A little fishy. I like it. Let's go back to the phones. Hunter's with us next, 915-505-6009. And then George will join us. Hunter, good evening. Welcome back. You actually went to this game tonight. I can't believe it.
This is my one and only game that I will be attending this year, and I'm glad I did.
One and only? You don't want to go see Liberty next week?
Dude, I paid $108 for 2 tickets. So.
You're kidding. How did you miss out on the $8 Socorro tickets? We could have lied. We could have said it's Hunter from Socorro. Come on.
No, I'll keep my comments to myself on that one, but I think I got my money's worth on this one at least, right? Like, we got some bonus basketball. I knew this would be the game to be at because you got 2 teams that are equally terrible and 2 coaches that I think are still coaching for their jobs, and 2 teams that are fighting to get in the tournament. So it was going to be entertaining one way or another, right? And so it lived up to it. I'm glad it was a good game. And I think some of the good, man, he's so undersized for the way he plays, but Cassius Brooks needs to see more minutes, man.
So you like Cassius, because I just came on and said this guy can't play any more minutes.
No, I the one that shouldn't even suit out anymore is Horton. And I don't even care that he doesn't make his threes. He's like, I don't know what his deal. He's lost. The effort's not there. He takes his fumbles the pass. He's not there. Like, he doesn't have it. I don't know what's going on with him. He doesn't need to be on the court. He's a liability on both ends. And there's no reason. If it's between him and L.A. Hayes, there's just no excuse to have him in the game. But I'll tell you what, Cassius, man. The guy's not very talented, right? And he doesn't have any size. But that guy fights on both ends of the court every single possession. And I'll take that every day of the week. That guy fights. And when they first put him in, he's the shortest guy on the court, man. He got the offensive board and a putback. Like, that's all effort. And I think it was against Sam Houston that there was like a battle for a board, and a couple of them went down, and he was the one in the middle of it. I'll take that all day. Like, that guy's motor and his effort and his heart, he lifts up the team. I truly believe that.
All right, fair enough. What else stood out for you?
Man, Jamal West, besides being the most frustrating guy at the free throw line I've ever seen, that guy can play on any team, I think. He wouldn't probably see the minutes that he does with UTEP, but he's so tough around the basket, man. That's another great thing to see. And this team is a point guard away from being right there with Liberty in this league. It's a terrible league. The fact that they're competing with who they have is a blessing, but they're really a point guard, like a really solid, good point guard, like like a Julian Stone. And these guys have the pieces to be dangerous in this league, man. Jamal West, I'll take him over anybody. Elijah Jones, what great progress that guy's made. Kasim Watson, man, when he's on, he's on. Blackwell, I'm liking that he's not over dribbling anymore. Like, they're starting to find their little identity on offense, and it's still not pretty. But if you guys remember where they were in November and December, man,
they were a mess. They were an absolute mess. Their offense was in shambles. They had absolutely no identity, Hunter. And for them to be where they're at now, you're right. Like, you do give them a little bit more credit. The trio of Jones, West Jr., and Watson has really stepped up.
Look at the scoring balance for the last 5 that were on the court. It was like 18, 20, 20, 21, and 17, or something ridiculous. Like, that's a heck of a balanced lineup right there. And if they had a point guard that knew how to distribute the ball and create for others, man, this would be a very entertaining team to watch. And they've made progress, and so that's all the I'm trying to be more positive than normal, and I think that's all. I'm not lying, that's all true. And then just my things that I still question are they go on their lapses too much on defense. There was a couple series in a row, a couple layups for no resistance, no effort. It's like, we'll just get the ball and go do our thing. That's not the mark of a good team. The free throw is not the mark of a good team. Golding's substitutions are still questionable there, and overtime. Why would you take Elijah Jones out? And I like Cassius Brooks, but you're going to need the rebound. And I mean, he didn't grab the rebound because he's too small, and they got the rebound and a foul, But that's not on Brooks, man. I mean, he's up there against the tree, so it's just things like that, man. If they could clean up, I think I'm going to stick with what I said last time. There'll be a 7 or 8 in this conference. I think they'll split this coming week. I don't know which one, but they're going to split it like they have been, just like their free throws, and finish about 7 or 8.
Okay, let me quickly your thoughts on the uniforms.
I love the color scheme. I wish they would go back to that orange and the Columbia blue, because no other school in the country has that color combination. Not a single one. I hate this. Los Mineros. That's not your freaking mascot, man. You're the Miners. It's like cultural appropriation or something. They're catering to me. It's almost offensive. I don't like it. I get the culture here. I get all that, but it's borderline offensive to me, man. Just call it what it is. Don't patronize the culture.
If they were like Pickaxe or like Pater Pete or something like that wouldn't work for you either, right? Like, you're just not a fan of saying the Los Mineros.
Yeah, just put UTEP like it used to be. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to reinvent the wheel, or even just El Paso, something. But I hate all this, type of nonsense like that.
Well, I mean, even if they did some, and I appreciate your phone call, man. Thank you for weighing in. Even if they did like La Tech did with the Dunkin' Dogs and stuff like that, I hear what you're saying. It's like a brand issue, and just have UTEP, just have Texas Western, stuff like that. But I appreciate the fact that you like the color palette. So good stuff there, Hunter. Appreciate your phone call. Let's go to our pal Nick Coppola, who's joining us now from Las Cruces Sun News. He was covering the game. He was out at the Don Haskins Center, witnessing this one firsthand. UTEP wins 91-88 in overtime. Nick, welcome aboard, back on the program with us. Great to hear from you. Are you already back in Las Cruces, or are you still here in the 915?
No, I'm not. I'm actually still in the Haskins Center. I just finished up my little follow-up story on kind of the end of the game. So yeah, I'm still here, just kind of taking it all in.
Okay, you give us your thoughts from the Aggie perspective. I mean, both teams needed this, right? But it was obvious. Both teams absolutely needed this one right here. And for the Aggies, they were up by around 10 points, around 6 minutes to go, and relinquished the lead, allowed the Miners to get back into it, send it to overtime, and then UTEP built up a 9-point lead in overtime. They relinquished that a little bit, but they were able to hang on and win this game.
Yeah, and I counted. New Mexico State was up by 10 at 4 different points in the second half, including that point you talked about with being 6 minutes left. And yeah, they just blew it. I mean, we could talk about what happened at the end of the game, whether that loose ball there with like 30 or so seconds left, whether it should have been a shot clock violation or whether it was a foul or something like that or whatever it was. But regardless, New Mexico State had this game won. I mean, they were up by 14 in the first half. I mean, they were on a roll. And then what really killed them was they went nearly 6 minutes without a shot. I think between the 8 and 2 minute marks of the second half. They went so long without a field goal, so they weren't making shots. They can only get free throws. UTEP was starting to come back, and yeah, I think that's where they really lost the game. I think some people are going to have an argument what happened towards the end of the game in overtime, but to me, New Mexico State shouldn't have been in that position to begin with. To me, there's always something you can do to take the game out of the officials' hands or prevent the game from coming down to some kind of refereeing decision. New Mexico State had plenty of chances to do that. And they didn't, and now they're back in the bottom 2 of the conference standings, which the season end today they wouldn't be going to Huntsville to play in the conference tournament. And it goes back to what you mentioned. Both teams needed this game because UTEP was in the bottom 2 coming into this game, and now they have one up on New Mexico State, and they'll meet again in a couple weeks. But this is one that New Mexico State really, really needed, and they're becoming more in danger of missing the conference tournament, which would just be a disaster for them.
I think you've done a really good job, Nick, of covering the the state of affairs with this program, and in particular, Jason Hooten. Like you asked a couple weeks ago, where's this team at? Just like where's the program headed, and what's kind of going on right now? And I thought Hooten's response was pretty interesting in itself, and I think it's easy to say if they win this one and things go right for them. It's back-to-back wins. Things are looking good. They lose, right, and it's a whole different story. And I just wonder, in this kind of not fork in the road situation that New Mexico State finds itself in, but if they miss out on the CUSA tournament, or if things just continue to go south this season to close out the year, could you see something drastic happening to Hooten? And I don't want you to speculate too much, but what do you see?
Maybe. You certainly would be a lot of under pressure from the fan base, and Joe Fields would, the new AD would be under a lot of pressure to do something. The biggest thing with that would be buyouts, and that's always a big thing with New Mexico State. Trying to find money to do basically anything. And so that would be the big thing for them too. But there definitely would be a lot of pressure, especially because they were really hyped up coming into the season. I think New Mexico State was 3rd in the Conference USA preseason poll. They had a lot of hype from coaches. A lot of coaches thought this was going to be a very good basketball team, and it just hasn't been the case so far. Especially because this is Hooten's 3rd year. First year was always going to be a challenge based on what happened and what he was inheriting. And then the second year they did better. They won 4 more games. They had arguably the best defense in the conference. They had a winning record. They were great. And then this year it's going so far in the opposite direction of what they were starting to build that people are starting to get unhappy. And it's a different environment for New Mexico State. They're not in the WAC anymore. Conference USA is a bit more difficult. But this is still, a program and, fan base with expectations to contend for the NCAA tournaments every single year. And that is not going to happen this year, barring, they may not even make the conference tournament. So there's definitely going to be a lot of pressure right now, and if they actually do end up missing the Conference USA tournament, which again would be just a disaster for that program, who knows what happens after that, man.
Great job, Nick. You kill it as always. I appreciate you. Get home safely. Any questions for us? Any questions for the gang over here on the UTEP perspective? I'm saying this while I'm smiling.
I don't know. Just how do you guys feel about what we just saw, man?
I'm still wrapping my head around it. I thought the Miners would win this one, but not like this. When the Aggies lead for 35 minutes and UTEP wins, that's one that feels like the gut punch. If you're from the New Mexico State perspective, if you're on and UTEP's been on that side, Nick, it's not like UTEP hasn't. UTEP relinquished a win on their side when they were leading the majority of the game against New Missouri State not too long ago, and they lost at home in a game like that. So it's not foreign to UTEP for UTEP to be on the other side of it, though, and to eke out a victory on their end. I think it's really big.
Yeah, I do too. Quickly, who do you think is going to win the return game in Las Cruces?
Oh, I think they split it. I think the way that this one went, I think it's a split. And now that makes it interesting, right? Because what if we're talking tiebreakers and we're talking things like that? And can UTEP make it still to the tournament? Does it matter? I think all those things come into play.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you for inviting me on, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate coming on. Appreciate it.
That's Nick Coppola. Check him out, Twitter and X. Check him out all over Las Cruces Sun News. He keeps us abreast when it comes to all things New Mexico State. So good stuff by Nick. Let's burn through more calls. 915-505-6009. We've got George and Orly. George, welcome aboard. What's going on?
What's up, Adrian? My voice is gone, bro. I picked a hell of a game to go see.
Finally made it, George. You're like Hunter.
Yeah,
it took you forever to get to the game, but you did it.
And I was in a perfect location. I was in the box seats, just screaming my head off. And I had these New Mexico Aggie fans behind me, and they were cheering throughout the whole game. And I saw the guys' composure and how they stayed focused. And Elijah, just amazing, double-double. Kasim Watkins, what can you say about him? He was there leading the charge, but Jamal West, going up for that clutch three and tying up the game and then sending it to overtime was amazing. It was just you could feel the atmosphere just get electric, and towards the end they almost faltered, but you know what? They stayed strong. They can feed off of this win. I think I agree with the caller before, Nick, to say that they're a point guard away from being a really good contending team in the Mountain West next year, because if they can keep some of these good players for next year, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with.
I hear you. And I feel like as far as guard play goes, they just don't have that. But I love this is the first time I've seen it in a while where it's flipped. Like they've got the bigs to kind of keep up with it. And it was the bigs that no one saw coming. Like everybody on paper when the season started said, oh, no. Elijah can't play the 5. Oh, no. Jamal West Jr., he's 6'6". He can't play the 4. Oh, no. Kasim Watson, he's not ready for a big role. And these 3 guys have stepped up.
No, they were amazing. I mean, just when you counted them out, and I could hear the Aggie fans behind me. They were whispering in my ear and kind of yelling every time. And it just, I think after that scuffle that happened, and it was unfortunate that they have to do that. But after that, I think the team came out with a fire that I hadn't seen in a while, and they played with intensity, and that's what I enjoyed watching. This is a team that can do something. They just have to believe in themselves, and those bigs that came out fighting the way they did. If they keep doing that, they're going to go a long way. They just need to believe in themselves altogether, because they did play a good game, and it went down to the wire, but it was amazing that we came around on the positive side.
I'm with you, man. Hey, good job, George. Final thoughts? Anything on the uniforms?
You know what? I'm going to go against the former caller saying Los Mineros. You're in El Paso. It's a Latin community. It's like in L.A., the Los Doyers. You're kind of, going to your fan base and saying, hey, we appreciate our Latin as well as all of our fans. But I'm in on the uniform. I think it was a very nice pick.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Appreciate your phone call, George. Thank you for weighing in. A voiceless George joining us on the phone lines as we continue. Orly's next with us, and then we'll keep it going here with us on the program, 915-505-6009. Orly, let's start there. Uniforms first.
I agree with Hunter. I disagree with your last caller. It's the Miners. It's not El Chuco. It's not Los Mineros. We're a UTEP. Yeah, we're a Latino community. But since the 60s and 70s, you never did that. It's always been, as you know, as Texas El Paso, UTEP. I disagree with it, and I agree with Hunter. What's this cultural correctness? Just stay with who we are. We're the Miners. And everybody knows us as UTEP Miners. This guy, George, right now, it was unbelievable. George, these are 2 bad teams. Somebody had to win. I'm happy for the win. I'm happy for the kids. Well, you know what? If you're gonna improve for the Mountain West, you're gonna have to get a better coach. He's not Mountain West material. I'm sorry. We're playing in a very, very bad conference, and we're in the middle of the pack. Doesn't say much about the conference, does it?
Not even conference middle of the pack.
Weak. We're towards the bottom of the pack now. They're 2 games out from probably 7 wins. it's not a good conference. We beat a bad New Mexico team. Somebody had to win.
Hey, real quick, Orly, real quick.
Yeah.
If the loser of this one ended up having to, like, let's reverse this and say, regardless of win or lose, who's more on the hot seat in your eyes, like Golding or Hooten, just as a fan looking at this, knowing all the changes, everything?
As a fan, I would say, well, because they gave him an extension for 2 years, it's going to be the coach of New Mexico State. Because you got to realize they gave Golding a 2-year extension. What's his record now against Division I programs? He's now 6-24. Is that what it is?
I have to go back and check. If you're looking back on that one,
it was 5-23 about a week ago.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I mean, you got to look at the who he's beaten. I mean, you're stepping up a level of competition. You need to step a level of recruiting and coaching, in my opinion. But we've got a 2-year extension. I don't know what's going to happen there.
Okay.
Because I think you need, in my opinion, they had a good crowd tonight. But lately they haven't been getting a good crowd. You're, as a season ticket holder, you get ticked off where you got somebody sitting next door to you for $9. You pay over $800 for one season ticket. How do you?
I know.
Yeah, so you got to, and I understand they got to fill the place up. You fill it up if you put a product out there.
Did you have to park far today, Orly? You seem like you're in a bad mood despite the win. I thought we were going to talk some happiness into you.
No, it's not that. I mean, it's a great win. I'm happy for the kids. But it's not like we just won the national title.
I agree. I'm 100% behind that.
People are calling in. They're excited. This guy, George, I lost my voice. Really? You beat a team that was 10-10 overall. And
the rivals. It's still the Aggies.
Yeah, I mean,
battle by 10.
I get it, but still, guys, let's relax. Let's see how it plays out the rest of the season.
Hey, okay, so I like where you're going with this, Orly. Call back if they beat Liberty, right? Like, that's when you can get, all right, that's when you can get pretty excited.
Well, let me ask you,
right?
where is a signature win in 5 years?
Cal,
is there
North
a signature
Texas?
win? There's no, you don't count the one you won at Abilene Christian. Where's the signature win at UTEP?
No, I hear
and
you.
I'm not saying a conference win. I'm saying a name program.
Orly, I hear you.
I'm happy for the kids. That's what I'm happy for. They played a great game. They won the game. That's all it's about. But we're not, guys, we're making it sound like they're going to catch Liberty.
I mean, they still have a losing record, right? Orly, I appreciate your phone call, man. Thank you for weighing in. They still have a losing record. They still have a lot of work to go. You can still be happy that they won this game, right? I mean, I feel like that. Thoughts from the boys over here. Anybody, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rivalry game, you know? You're allowed to have fun in rivalry games. I mean, UTEP fans haven't had any fun all year. So I think that if you're going to lose your voice, might as well lose it in a rivalry game win rather than not lose it at all this year. I would love to lose my voice, you know?
Yeah. Enrique Ortiz chiming in. What a game. Sorry, guys, I would call in, but I have no voice as well, just like George. UTEP is 9-1 this year, scoring 70 or more points. Some great optimism leading into a heavy couple of games. Hashtag MinerTalk. Good job. Text Truth Tejano. Love design of uniforms, but we are the Miners, not Los Mineros, and we need more orange. Also, when a Blackwell is on fire from three-point line and distributing the ball, he's like a mini Tim Hardaway. There's your Tim Hardaway light. Caleb Blackwell, Sal.
Nah, you know what? No, I got a way better one. I got a way better one. I'm gonna do it. Somebody called in and said like Cassius Brooks was like just a beast and a bully. We're gonna go this way. He reminds me of Tyler Hansborough. He's not Psycho T, he's Psycho C. So that's my guy right there. If we're gonna go that far.
All the comparisons are terrible today. I can't stand them all.
Real quick,
I like the Psycho C though. Great nickname.
I kind of want to move on from something. I think we hammered on it for a while, but I'm going to say the real thing, but I'll ask you all the question first. Would you say that 10 games is a respectable sample size?
Yes, yeah.
All right, I'm ready to throw out the 5 and whatever against Division I teams. How about this? They're 5-5 in their last 10 games.
Okay. That's kind of who they are, 500 team. Okay. I think that's a good one. And El Paso Visuals Deportivos will be very happy that we did that, too, is that we threw out that record. So, and now that we've only gotten to the last 10. I think it's fair.
It's a good size,
10-game sample size. Most of that is conference play. 5-5. I like that. Who's going to complain against that one right there? I like that. That's a good stat right there. And that also omits the really tough streak that they had like right before league play really started as well, if I'm not mistaken. So it kind of takes away some of those games right there. So I think I'm cool with that all the way through. All right, Zay, let's open up the can of worms. Before we open up the can of worms, I want to talk a little UTEP or Mountain West and all that kind of storyline. Assuming we're done on the phones. Our telephone number now in 5505-6009. UTEP wins 91-88. We're presented by Jack in the Box. We're continuing here on MinerTalk along with Zay, Sal, King Eric's in the house. I'm Adrian. We're live on Inspo Lens. Thanks to Chris Collins. We're also live on YouTube, Twitter, X, everything like that. So here's the thoughts that I have. I need to buy the shirt. I need to get the tattoo. I am Mountain West through and through. I am all about the Mountain West. I love the Mountain West. This has already been a better conference to UTEP in less than, UTEP's not even in the Mountain West. It's been a better conference for UTEP than Conference USA already. Like they're negative 60 days in. And UTEP is still getting more out of the Mountain West right now than they ever did from Conference USA. The TV deal was struck this week. It's CBS, it's ESPN, it's CBS, it's Fox. They're getting a lot of money from it. I love that. Big plus, big check mark right there, right? UNLV, great recruiting class. They had the signing day class came around. UNLV had a great one. Not just like good in the Mountain West. No. Better than any team out of Conference USA, better than all these other teams in Group of 5. Like they had one of the top Group of 5 recruiting classes out there. And then, don't sleep on Hawaii in college football. Suddenly the Rainbow Warriors are investing in their program and they're looking respectable. So everything's stacking up. Like I'm thinking to myself, wow, this Mountain West schedule is going to look great. And yeah, we can talk about the argument. Oh, well, UTEP is going to struggle in a conference that they were never winning in Conference USA. Whatever. Screw that take right now. Screw that narrative right now. I don't care. I'm just looking at what's around them. We hear the news late yesterday. North Dakota State wants in. And not wants in 2027, not 2028. They want in now. They're busting down the door and saying, wait a second, Sacramento State wants to join the MAC? We're in, Mountain West. Like, we're all in. It's time for us to make the move. We won the FCS championships. Let's level up. Our fan base is great. We love football. Let's go football only in the Mountain West. I think this is huge for UTEP for so many reasons. Geographically, they're in a place that makes sense proximity-wise. Going against a team like that is good for the conference. It will level up the Mountain West. It will force UTEP into putting themselves in a position to compete with those types of teams. I'm all in. Like, I couldn't be more all in on this move right here, and I think there's more to come. Like, in my eyes, I'm like, well, if the domino falls with North Dakota State, can you get Montana? And then on paper, Zay, I'm like, this is so much better than the likes of CUSA grabbing Jack State, who was successful, Missouri State, who was successful, Delaware, who went to a bowl game in year one of their transition, right? All these teams having success. But on paper, these teams were nothing in FCS. Like, they weren't good. And now UTEP's getting the Mountain West Plus is getting the best of the best out of the FCS in North Dakota State, possibly. I'm all in. I couldn't be more all in on this.
And they're willing to pay $10 million in entry fees, waive TV revenue for the first couple of years, so it's more money for UTEP. Second, what took them so long? Like, why are they barely coming to the FBS now? I feel like they're the best team. Like, they're the best team you could have grabbed. They're the best team you could have grabbed. I know nowadays it's about TV markets, this and the third. No, North Dakota State wins football games. They've won championships. And, a lot of people are going to say, well, why would you move up to the FBS when, you're competing for an FCS championship every year? They're so good. They're tired of winning championships at the FCS level. They're ready for the next challenge. And James Madison went to the FCS championship plenty of times, and guess who they would always lose to? They would always lose to North Dakota State. Like, that is a program that day one, year one can compete for a college football playoff spot. Like, that's if they're allowed to. That's not crazy to say, right? Like, people really, really believe that. I believe that. And if they are added as a football only member, the Mountain West seriously could be on par with like the American if everything goes right.
Why not? I mean, I'm laughing because it's like New Mexico was never good before this year, right? Like, as a program. And UNLV's really stepped it up. But, Eric, your thoughts? I mean, North Dakota State, possibly a new member in the Mountain West.
I mean, we all know North Dakota State as the powerhouse in the FCS ranks in terms of football. Multiple NFL players have actually come out of North Dakota State. Trey Lance, Carson Wentz.
Somebody's playing in the Super Bowl tomorrow from North Dakota State. Gray Zabel, right? Am I right on this?
Gray Zabel, yes. He went to North Dakota State, first-round pick. They've had multiple first-round picks, so, yeah, they're building something out there. I'm with Zay on this one, though. Why did they take so long to make the jump up to FBS? That's a big question mark for me.
I think they ruled the FCS so long, Sal, and now they could benefit greatly. Like, they probably see, all right, everybody else is doing it. The money is becoming just way too high, and I think they probably squeezed everything out of that lemon that they could in the FCS ranks that they were in, and they've got money. Like, make the jump. Football's king over there.
And it's going to be king right away when it comes to Mountain West football. I agree with these guys, man. That's a damn good football team year in and year out. But my favorite thing is, like, I know there's like conference realignment all over, but like you said it too, geographically, it's just so beautiful. Aside from Northern Illinois, like, I really love the way this conference is. And I understand Hawaii, in theory, is like the furthest team from every single team here when it comes to the conference. But, I mean, they're literally on a mountain. So I get it. It's old school whack there. But, no, I really love the way that the Mountain West is looking.
I feel like the same thing. Like, I'm all in. I couldn't be more all in. And then, Zay, we're learning that, like, Grand Canyon and basketball is starting to invest in a lot more. Like, they already had reportedly over $2 million in NIL, and now I'm hearing they're getting even more money going their way in basketball. So basketball needs to stay a multi-bid league. Football wants to have some prominence. They just inked the deal with CBS. CBS has some pressure on them. It's like, don't lose the teams that you have. Get better in the Mountain West. And hey, why not? I mean, why not the Mountain West? Plus, this could be the conference. What if they're better than the Pac-12? It's not crazy to think.
It really isn't. It really isn't, especially now that we know this. And, we'll see. If they can hit, like, if UC Davis can be like Delaware or Sam Houston State, like, that's a
all
dub.
You need.
Yeah. Added with UNM, if they're, like you said, continuing this upward trend. North Dakota State, if they get that deal done. UNLV, we already know what they are, right? You're adding up all these teams. This could be a really, really quality league. And even if it wasn't, right, even if all this, was bad, it's still better than Conference USA. And I think that's the baseline, so I'm happy about it. I'm hyped. This is a fun football conference, and I can't wait to see the Fargo Dome in NCAA 27.
Oh, there it is. The text Truth Tejano. God bless you guys. We beat our rivals. Be happy, Orly. Chris Banks, who would have thought we would have controversy for the Los Mineros jersey and Orly being the get off my lawn guy? LOL. And it's like the old man yells at cloud meme. Oh, come on. That's our guy Orly. We got to protect him. We got to be on his side here on this one. Megan Acosta. In on the uniforms, color scheme, but change Los Mineros to minor. Hashtag ditch the gray uniforms. Zay, I think your problem is nothing related to Los Mineros. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're completely nobody, I feel like everybody hates these jerseys because of Los Mineros. I'm the only person with another reason. I like Los Mineros. Let's do that. That's fun. That's fire. Should I go in?
Yes, this is your time.
It? Like, I've been waiting.
Yes, I think I hear your music, though, so turn your music off.
I didn't even know I had music on.
But you know what?
That's how locked in he is.
Yeah, that's how locked in he is on this take that he's about to make. Is it the orange that bothers you, Zay? And I guess the answer is probably yes.
Look, I'm going to start off by saying I'm like fully biased because I submitted my entry.
Wait, can I say that I know who did these jerseys? And the jersey person who did these is like the biggest troll on the planet. Like the actual biggest troll on the planet. Yeah, somebody did this jersey that I found out today, and I was like, wait a second, what? They chose this? Like, if they found out this guy did it, there's no chance they would have picked this one. But he did it, and he made it happen, and it's the Los Mineros jersey. So there's somebody, here's the hint. There's somebody on social media who is overly positive about it, and that is a person who designed these.
I have no clue who it is.
I feel like
it doesn't even matter. But you just give me your take on it. Go ahead, Say.
So, look. I want to start by saying I'm fully biased because I really, truly, like, I liked mine a lot, and I put in work, and it was like, it wasn't even a finalist. Like, they didn't even glance over it.
Well, because it was UTEP Zay. They can't put you in it. Come on.
That's, yeah, you know? They know I'm the jersey guy. They had to get back.
You should have had George submitted or somebody. Come on.
But look, at the end of the day, what I do have to say is I like Los Mineros. I don't like the fact that they chose a Los Mineros shirt. You already have a Los Mineros jersey. It exists already. And the second part, you already have a jersey with this color scheme that has just been thrown in the trash. I don't know if anybody remembers. They had a sick 80s jersey, a throwback, and they've not worn it in 2 years. It's sad. It breaks my heart that they just decided to just throw them away. I don't know why. Those are your best jerseys. The best thing that we've had on the UTEP basketball court, and I like the Texas Western ones, but the best jerseys are the 80s throwback. And they threw them away for this. Like, I don't want to hate too much, but the blue it's not even like it's the correct blue, but it's not really the correct blue. Like, you know? And the font, I like it. But, like, it looks like it was made on Canva, and it probably was. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, But, like, if you saw the Aggies jersey, that's how you do script font. You know, it's black, it's outlined in the, like, it looks clean, it looks nice. I couldn't even see Los Mineros on the jersey because the light blue and the white, like, they you know? It clashed, and at the end of the day, it's still it's a good jersey, but I'm out. And I'm out on the. Don't even get me started on the women's ones, guys. Like, don't even get me started. Those ones. First off, it says Los Mineros on there as well, and I know, like, it's a branding thing, right? I get it, but, like, just that's not how it works, right? Like, you can't put Los Mineros on a women's basketball team like that clashes with the rules of the Spanish language, right? I don't know. I'm just
WNCAA basketball. You're right.
Like, I don't know. I'm at a loss with this, and you know, they went quiet on it for so long. I just thought it would never happen.
Me too. I was thinking they'd bury it.
I don't know. This was a cool thing. I liked it, but at the end of the day, come on. And I'm a Los Mineros fan. Like, let's do more Los Mineros. I don't know why this is such a big deal.
I know.
It translates to the Miners, and that's what you are. You're the Miners. So I don't. It makes it cool. It gives you some flair, you know. And Orly said, you know, we're UTEP, and then he throws in we're Texas El Paso. No, you can't say no Los Mineros, but yes, Texas El Paso. That's the word. I hate Texas El Paso.
No, I hate University of UTEP.
University of UTEP.
There was a second one. I saw it on Twitter the other day. There was another. They didn't come here to play school.
Or UTEP University.
Another UTEP University. Yeah. It's fun. Can we unite and just say, let's ditch UTEP, let's ditch Texas El Paso, let's ditch all of that and just go Texas Western. Permanent, all day, every day.
I want West Texas. No, I'm joking.
West Texas College, West Texas Miners. I'm cool with all that. I mean, even this week we were doing all the Super Bowl coverage and all that. Like Tyrese Knight, Texas El Paso, all over Texas El Paso. That's sad. I mean, it's a brand issue, and I think UTEP's done a good job on their athletic side to say it's UTEP. We don't like when people use Texas El Paso, but you still see it. So TWC for me, number 1, Texas Western College, if they could go into that. UTEP number 2, just simple UTEP. How hard is it for UTEP? UT El Paso? No. UT or Texas El Paso, get out of here. Like, I hate that. So that's where I stand on it. The uniforms, I'm looking at them like zoomed in. You're right, say like they actually did go those 80s uniforms not too long ago. It's an all white look that they're going for this one right here. I don't like the the color of orange on the number and then the back number on that, but maybe we just talk too much jerseys on this show, and maybe that's fun for some people because a lot of people chimed in on Twitter and X too about them, so I think people feel a certain way about it. They're polarizing either way, but yeah, there you go. There's Zay's monologue on it, our takeaways from it, and we had a lot of controversy on calls anyways. So the cultural appropriation, get out of here. Come on, there's no cultural appropriation here going on with the Los Mineros. Come on, this is just part of the community. Minor Pickaxe Josh, sleeping well tonight. Hashtag MinerTalk. Happiness is knowing that UTEP won today. Okay, good job. Good stuff, man. Eric, let's go some 3 points. Let's get to 3 turning points of this game. 3 plays or 3 moments that you felt like swung this game here for this one. Miners get it done against the Aggies, 91-88 against New Mexico State. Battle of I-10, obvious rivalry game. What were the 3 moments that stood out to you?
Yeah, so we got 2 in the second half, 1 in the first half. The first one being 7-minute 38 mark. NMSU was up 26-18 at that point. UTEP had gone 1 for 6 from the field at that point. They were kind of struggling. They come out kind of cold to start the game. So, yeah, that was kind of an important one for me. To start the second half at the 15-minute 23-second mark, NMSU was up 49-39. I thought at that point it was going to be a blowout. That's when NMSU really kind of started to get away. They started to build on that.
I thought it was over at this point.
I thought it was over at that point, too. I think they got up to 14 a little bit, not too long after that. And then the last point I have, it wasn't even a minutes or a points thing. I literally wrote down, Kasim the Dream nails it to send it to overtime. That's the biggest play of the whole game. Kasim hits... He pump fakes and he hits the shot. As soon as he left it, he was confident. He knew it was going to go in. And sure enough, it went in. You know, you guys were talking about that scuffle early on in that second half. I think that kind of woke up Kasim a little bit because after he hit the shot, he kind of turned around. You know, he kind of celebrated a little too much. He celebrated a lot looking at the NMSU bench. So I think that kind of fired him up a little bit. And, yeah, it was just a great game overall. Great win.
Good stuff, Eric. Great job. Great breakdown. Let's go to Keith from Winnipeg, who's joining us late night. Moneybags Keith, who's joining us, who promised some NIL to UTEP. Maybe the NIL has increased after the big win tonight. 915-505-6009. UTEP wins in overtime, 91-88. Keith, welcome aboard.
Yeah, I promised I wasn't going to call to after the Olympics, but now that they won this game, I had to call in. But actually, I was really glued to your riveting conversation about North Dakota State because I couldn't believe it. I can't imagine what it's going to be like for me if North Dakota State joins the conference and I get to drive like just 2 hours down to see El Paso play.
There we go, Keith. I like it.
Yeah, they were talking.
You can give them the check in person. You can hand them the cash in person for all the NIL.
Yeah. If they allow me across the border, I have no problem. Yeah. I was listening to cause Fargo is pretty close. We get all their sports radio shows, and if you ever want to get a guy on your evening show, like your drive home show, you should really get Jack Michaels on your show. He's the guy that you would want to talk about North Dakota State joining the conference, because that is the guy in North Dakota right now that would be very enlightening for you guys. North Dakota State is a very interesting university because I was actually at their first ever D1 game ever. I remember it like it was yesterday. I drove down that day for the game, and the enthusiasm for that program was so bad. What they have been able to do from that moment, like I'd say about 3-4 years after that, They were actually going to fire Craig Bull. Nobody was coming to the games, and all of a sudden they made the playoffs. And then the next year they win the national championship, and they haven't looked back. The way that they have built that program is unbelievable because, believe it or not, North Dakota State wasn't the premier university in that state. It was the University of North Dakota. They were always beating up on North Dakota State, the Bison. And so for what they've been able
legendary
to do,
hockey, by the way.
Yeah, well, UND, that's in Grand Forks. It's a little closer to home. They're really big in hockey, like really big. They have one of the most beautiful arenas that you imagine because they have a guy, well, he passed away, Ralph Engelstad, who used to own the Imperial Palace in Las Vegas. So he donated all his money before he passed away to build that arena. But North Dakota State, yeah, they play in the Fargo Dome. They're looking at either renovating it or getting a new stadium. That's what I've been hearing for the last year. So that's something to look forward to. But I'll tell you what, one of the things, too, about North Dakota State, they joined that conference, is that you're probably going to get South Dakota State and the two Montana schools would probably follow suit. I don't think that they would follow immediately, but maybe a year or two after, maybe even 3 years. I know that there's been talk about Tarleton State joining the Mountain West. I know you probably know more about that university than I do. But one of the things that I'm really excited for joining Mountain West, and you kind of brought that up, is that I don't have to get these games on ESPN Plus then. I can get them on CBS Sports, the Fox Sports networks. Way easier to get my sports. So that's something I'm extremely looking forward to in the future because I just can't. I mean, I've been able to get it, but it's just very difficult. And the quality is just not there. And I know that you're an ESPN product, and I'm not bashing ESPN, but it will turn Miners football and basketball programs into a new exciting era, just being on CBS Sports, being on Fox Sports. I know that the games probably won't be on the main CBS unless there's like a championship game, the conference championship game. But that's one of the things that I'm really excited for, is just to get on a different network, and it'd be much easier for us. And also good for the recruiting. We're going to be on more tubes across the country. So, so I'm really looking forward to that. Now I'll quickly get into tonight's game. I've been hard on this team. I know that I've been saying this is a lost cause team, and I still don't believe that we're going to do anything. I was more pleased, or I should rephrase that. I was more excited for the fans that showed up. I know it was hard to tell exactly how many people were in there. It looked like maybe 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 people. I was really, really, really happy for those fans that came tonight because that was the deserving part. I'm sure there was a lot of New Mexico State fans in there too, but the place came alive today. At least it showed up on television. So I was really happy for the fans. And also I was happy for the players just to get a nice win against a rivalry. I mean, I know, hey, this has been a long season, but like we were talking just a few moments ago, it was a rivalry game, and it's always good to beat your rivals. Period.
True. Very true, Keith. Good mic drop. I appreciate your phone call, man. Thank you for weighing in. 915-505-6009, 600 ESPN El Paso, Twitter next, 600 ESPNElPaso.com. Important to know, like some guy Chris says, the Miners have 4 of their next 5 games on the road. It's at Jacksonville State. Then they host Liberty next week. It's a tough week. That's UTEP's turning the page after this week on a really tough week. Then after that, on the road at New Mexico State as a standalone game. No Wednesday game that week. They have a whole week to prepare for that one right there. Could be a good or bad thing. Who knows? Then on the road at Middle Tennessee, then at Western Kentucky. Man, these next 4 games, guys, they're going to be pivotal. They're going to be really tough for the Miners. They close out the season at home against Kennesaw State and Jacksonville State. But Zay, Miners, tough stretch here coming up.
Yep, tough stretch indeed, and I know we said they're 5-5 in their last 10 games, right, and that's good, but I still feel like they didn't take advantage of this home stretch as much as they should have.
Should have beat Missouri State. Should have beat La Tech.
Yeah, I mean those are two winnable games, and especially the Missouri State game. I mean, you both of them, really, right? Under 3 minutes, they gave themselves a chance and they couldn't pull it out, and they did in this one. They got the win, so you take that. You got to steal some. You got to steal one or two of these next, these next 5 games, I think?
4 of the next 5 on the road.
Yeah, you got to steal one on the road. You got to win the home game. And I know that Liberty,
that's tough.
Yeah, that's hard, right? So maybe you're not going to, you're going to have to maybe take 2 on the road. All I know is some guy, Chris, he said it as well. Every game gets bigger from here on out because you need to find a way to get in the conference tournament. You can't be the odd man out. You have to lay it all on the floor just to get in. That's the position you put yourself in. You got to live with it, and this is a good way to fire start that. And I know after every game, after every UTEP win, we've asked the question, is this the game that pushes them over the ledge, right? Is this what gets them going? Is this where they can build off? Well, this is it, right? This has to be it for real this time. We say it all the time. This has to be. It's a come from behind rivalry win in front of a huge crowd. If this doesn't pull you forward to more victories, well, then the season's over.
Sal, Conference USA, as we know, isn't top 5 in a lot of things, in almost nothing, but they are top 5 right now in home win percentage as a conference. 48 of the 74 games at home have been won by the home team. That is 65% of the games that are home are won by the team who's hosting the matchup. Tonight, the home team and the Miners win, but for the Miners who are having to travel in this next stretch, it's going to be tough for the squad.
No, it definitely is, but the crazy thing about it is they're kind of sandwiched with top dog being Liberty and Jack State, right? We kind of know those two teams, but the next 3 after that, the Aggies, Middle Tennessee, and Western Kentucky, like those are teams that you're within reach of. And you got a big jump today from second to last place to now fourth to last place. And I get it. They're still, with a losing record in conference and overall. Shout out to the 915 with their 915 record. But, just check this out. Middle Tennessee only 5-7 in conference play. Western Kentucky is just one game better. And in theory, that could be the game that they played against each other. So, they have a chance to equalize some of those mistakes. This is a huge next, 3 weeks or so, because I think not this upcoming week, but the week after, I think it's just one game against the Aggies. So nonetheless, though, this is going to be a huge 3-game stretch. You cannot go worse. You cannot go worse than 2 and 3, and honestly, that's not even asking for a lot, man. It really isn't.
That's not. Here's another one. This is coming in from Hunter. Who cares about the uniforms? We need this Pater Pete back from the 90s. The hard hat. It should be the UTEP thing. This is the one that I grew up with. The hard hat makes sense for the Miners. Could wear them even in the stands. And then sends me the picture of the classic Pater Pete in the 90s. We've heard this from other callers as well. Makes more sense that some of our listeners say to go with a Pater Pete that has the hard hat that he wears on his head. So there you go. That good stuff, guys. I think we're winding up here pretty nicely on the show. I think we've done our job and done our justice here on the program. Can't thank our team enough. Can't thank Inspo Lens enough here to be live and back with us on the program on YouTube, on Twitter, and X. We're looking at it right now. We've got almost 200 people still watching us live. So appreciate everybody who's chiming in, hanging out with us late night here for some Miner Talk here on Battle of I-10 Victory Night. Overtime win for UTEP. We'll ping it around some final thoughts. Eric, I'm going to start with you. The upcoming road stretch for the Miners, the big win tonight in overtime, 91-88 against New Mexico State. Just your final thoughts here after this one.
Yeah, this is a good win to build off of. This is something hopefully we can like I said, we could build off of. You guys are talking about what's the key game to really see where this team is. I was going to argue it was at New Mexico State, but you guys said it was this game. If it's this game, things are looking good. Things are looking promising. It sucks that they got to play at Jacksonville State, and then they have the best team in conference, Liberty, coming. So they might get pushed around a little bit in that game. They might get halted there, but You got to see how they respond. You got to see how they come back from this game, especially. You got to see how they bounce back against Jacksonville State and Liberty. So it's going to be a good week. I think they split. No, you know what? No, I think they get swept. I'm sorry. I'm going to be the negative guy here, but
yeah, I hear you.
I think they get swept. Liberty's too good. Jacksonville State, they're hot right now. They're a good team.
Hard to win either.
Going to Jacksonville State's tough. So I'm sorry, but I think they go 0-2.
Okay, Zay, your thoughts closing out the night and then getting ready for next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good win. I know a lot of people, you're going to say, yeah, New Mexico State's not a great team. They're not. But you throw out the records, right? You throw out the records in these games. We've said it before in football. We'll say it in basketball. It's a rivalry game. Emotions are high. The crowd is in it. The fans are in it, Whether they're a good team or not, this is a tough, gutsy win to come from behind, 14 at one point to get this win. I like it. And look, it's not getting any easier, right? You're playing the best two teams in Conference USA next week. And I'll say this, people are going to look at me crazy. You guys are definitely going to look at me crazy. But they're both winnable games. They're both winnable games. We look at Liberty as the big bad guys, this and the third. Look, UTEP has a good record against Rich McKay. Joe Golding can coach against Rich McKay. And Liberty is a good team, but they're not invincible. I think they almost went to overtime with the worst team in Conference USA on Wednesday against Delaware. I mean, they struggled in that one. They eke out a 3-point victory against Missouri State today. It's a long distance to travel from Lynchburg, Virginia to El Paso, Texas. It's not an easy road trip. You got momentum. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I'm not saying they're going to get blown out, okay? So, take care. If you can take care of Jacksonville State, you can really just throw the sink against Liberty, and maybe you turn your season around.
Oh, man. Zay's drinking the Kool-Aid, the beating Liberty Kool-Aid. I love it. If there was ever a Kool-Aid to drink, I'd be drinking that Kool-Aid.
Shoot it.
Yeah? You're okay?
You know what? I was going to say, wait, I didn't say they're going to beat them, but, I mean, why not just call your shot? If I swing and miss, it's Liberty, right? It's Liberty.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to call my shot. Yeah, they got it. They got it.
No more Taylor and Peter. Just Matheny, just Porter, just Cleveland. Get it done one more time for the whole gang, for the whole bunch. Say sayonara to Liberty. You're going to the Mountain West with one more win against them. I think that's the UTEP's Super Bowl. That's UTEP's NCAA tournament game right there. Being Liberty at home. Let's make it happen. I like the energy Zay's throwing out there, Sal. But your final thoughts? Miners get it done in overtime. Tough 2 games upcoming.
So for UTEP basketball, I do think they're going to go 0-2 against these two teams. Liberty, not in solid form recently in these last couple of games, but they're still pulling away. And anytime you're unblemished in conference play, that means you're doing something right. So I'm jumping ahead, though. I cannot overlook Jack State, man. They're in good form, 2-game winning streak right now. And if we kind of just go through the archives, they're 5 of their last 6. They're that loss in that stretch coming to Missouri State at Missouri State, who Liberty, had hang tough with. So that for UTEP basketball, I think they go 0-2 in the stretch. But the main thing, I don't know how I didn't say this yet, Adrian, but solid job, man, on Radio Row this week.
Hey, thank
and
you,
Steve
my man.
Kaplowitz,
Appreciate
you guys killed it, man. Amazing way to represent, and great stuff, man. You guys got to meet some really cool people, or those people got to meet some really cool people.
I appreciate
from
you, man.
600, yeah.
Thank you very much, Sal. Thanks for saying that, and thanks for all the people who said some kind words about us being out there. But that'll do it for us here today, and I appreciate everybody who's watching us live on Inspo Lens here with us. It was a big night, so excited for all the people who are hanging with us here late. UTEP finishes it out 91-88. That'll do it for us here on the program. For Chris Collins running the cameras, being behind the productions, coming up with good trivia that we might save for next time around. For Zay Galindo, for Eric, King Eric, our spring intern, for Sal Montes, we are signing off. Thanks to Jack in the Box, our title sponsor. I'm Adrian Broadus. UTEP gets it done in overtime against New Mexico State. 91-88 right here on 600 ESPN El Paso.